right. Beans. Oh, yeah. He'll like that. I am at the Bigfoot Art Gallery in Palmer, Alaska. If you haven't already checked it out, come check it out. He's even got his Bigfoot outside there. Absolutely.
Yeah, Mr. Bigfoot's out, ready to have his picture taken and not be blurry.
And people can also buy some of your framed Bigfoot artwork, even online. Just check out Bigfoot Art Gallery on Facebook.
Yep, Bigfoot Art Gallery, bigfootartgallery@gmail.com. Email me, tell me some stories.
That's right.
Usually here, it's either Pia or I. It's been we've had a great summer so far. It's been, been pretty good, I must say. I mean, overall, weather could have been better, but
yeah,
August has been nice. So
it has been.
I'm grateful for that. It's not been bad.
I can't wait till we have more expeditions too. Those were epic.
Those are fun. Oh, boy, Lucky Shot Mine.
Oh.
That's what it's called. Thanks to Beans. Thank you, Beans.
That's what it's called.
That's what that spot's called.
I still need to check my pan with that.
Yeah.
To see if there was gold.
Need to go back up there. It's only 50 miles away from my driveway, I believe.
Well, if there's a bunch of gold in that pan, I'm going back for like 2 weeks.
Oh, you should. You need to get that checked out. That'll get you excited.
So speaking of, I know I did the attempt to psychically call in a Bigfoot.
Yes.
And it's pretty interesting. We've been talking about intention and throwing our will out to the universe.
Yes.
You have an interesting story of something that happened recently.
Real recent, and it is kind of interesting. I'll try to make this short, but about a month ago, I took a friend of mine down my little trail. This trail I go on all the time, all year
fishing
round.
Spot.
It's my secret fishing spot. It's awesome. On a beautiful day, it's just a great place to hang out and chill. I go here all the time on my days off. Well, this particular day, I took a friend who had 3 little kids. We got down to an area, Highland Creek, which we would have to cross to get to the spot I wanted to get. Unfortunately, the creek was raging. It's just raging too hard. Yeah. And these are little kids.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I mean, I can easily walk across it, but the older boy, Gus, he decides to go across with me.
Yeah.
And we're going very slow because it's not quite up to my knee.
Yeah.
But it's going pretty quick, and I'm keeping a hand on him.
Right.
So he loses one of his shoes, and down the creek it goes. And I even kind of gave a little of an attempt to go after it. Apparently they were his favorite shoes, and so that made me feel really bad. Yeah. The chaos ensued, and he lost his shoe, and oh no, and I turned around to walk back, and apparently he took his other shoe off and threw it in the creek, thinking that if you lost one shoe, why have one shoe?
Yeah.
His mom, why are you throwing your shoe in there? And off it went down the creek. Gone, right? Like I said, the creek was raging. So these are 2 little bright green little boys' shoes.
Right.
I felt super bad. I felt so bad. The creek was way too raging to even have these little kids try to even. The other 2 didn't even try it, but the Gus tried it, but lost his shoes. I felt bad. Even offered to, Dan, I said, I'll buy him some new shoes, but no, she's like, no. So fast forward about a month, and I have been down on this trail at least 4 times since we lost the shoes. And every time I go down there, in my mind, I'm thinking I want to find those shoes because I want to be the hero. I felt bad. I lost these shoes.
You even said it out loud. Bigfoot.
I said
I
jokingly would go down there, and it's usually on a beautiful day. I go down there and I'll be in my swim shorts. I'll wear my water shoes, and I can walk around in the creeks freely and not worry about anything. It's really nice. It's nice weather, and so I would look for these shoes, as well as looking for bear prints and other things, and just beach combing in general. I like to do that sort of thing, just exploring. And yeah, like about 4 times I've been down there. And about a week ago, I decided it was a Monday or my day off. Banjo was driving me nuts. It was kind of a crappy day. It was kind of rainy. All right, fine. I'll just take him down to Highland Creek. We'll just go. We won't cross it. We'll just go to the creek.
Yeah.
That's a nice little walk. And so we go do that, and I'm kind of thinking still, God, it'd be cool to find those shoes, but they're gone. They got to be in Japan by now. I mean, they're just gone.
Yeah.
So we go down to the same area of the creek, get to the creek, and it's kind of raining a little bit, and Banjo's having a great time, and I'm playing with him. And I walk around to the exact area that we were standing and crossed the creek and lost the shoes. They went down the creek about 6 feet into the woods. I look, and there's one of the shoes.
Wow.
Sitting in the woods, soaking wet, full of water.
Yeah.
And I walked up to it, and I was just like, no way. I mean, wow. I couldn't believe it. I took a picture. I let the mom know. She's like, no way. No way. So I thought, well, okay, the river was raging pretty hard. There's kind of a little eddy, maybe 8 feet away from where the shoe was. Maybe some flooding occurred, and the shoe actually didn't go down the creek. It kind of got caught in that little swirl and ended up kind of getting washed ashore. But that's kind of stretching it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, wow, it doesn't make sense.
Somebody had to put it there.
Well, and Danny, the mother, saw the shoe go down. I saw the first shoe go down.
Gone.
I missed the second shoe because my back was to her, but it went down the creek. It didn't stop and swirl around because we would have been able to get it then. But anyway, wow, so I found one of the shoes. Okay, okay. So about 3 days later, we take Banjo down there. This time I'm going to go fishing. It's a nice day. Got my water shoes on, my shorts. Woohoo! We go down there. We cross the creek. Yeah, I'm talking loud. I'm doing my usual thing for bears, Again, I'm thinking, God, it'd be great to find one of those shoes, wouldn't it? But it's starting to fade at this point because it's been so long. I found the one shoe, but I didn't really think I'd find the other shoe. But it was on my mind.
Yeah.
And I may have said something out loud on that trip, but I know I said something out loud the previous 4 trips.
Right.
Like, come on, guys, where's that shoe? Just being funny.
Yeah.
Didn't expect to find it. So we go down there. We spend about 2 hours on the river catching fish, having a great time playing with Banjo. So, okay, buddy, we got to go home. So we go hiking back, and we get back to this little spot on the trail where we have to walk, and right before we cross, there's the second shoe.
Wow.
Sitting right in the trail. You can't miss it.
It was dry.
And it was not there when I was going to the creek. I wouldn't have missed it. It was in the path I was on.
Strange.
You could see it 20 feet away. It's a bright green little boy's shoe. And I couldn't believe it. I thought, no booping way.
Yeah.
And I walked up to it, and Banjo's he's sniffing it, he's looking at it. I pick it up, and the first thing I notice is it's completely dry. Wow. The shoe is completely dry. And I thought, I watched this shoe go, gone. It was gone. And for over a month, both of the shoes, I was keeping an eye on every time I went there. Like I said, about 4 trips down there, I didn't see a thing.
Right.
And then within 3 days, I find both shoes. But the one being in that path, that just made me go, what?
Yeah.
Was it a fisherman? Did a human find it and just randomly leave it on the trail the same day? It just seems to be so much of a coincidence.
And you saw brown bears there too.
On that trip, I was carrying the second shoe back, and we startled a brown bear cub. Wow. It was a cub, so that was exciting.
Yeah.
And Banjo took off running, barking, and so I didn't know if there was a mama bear in front of us too, or another cub. But thank God that was it. The brown bear ran across the creek and just took off. But there I am carrying the second shoe. And I let the mother know about the second shoe. And she thought the same thing. I mean, she was like, no way.
Yeah.
Are you messing with me? And I said, "Are you messing with me?" I mean, I was like, "Did you find these shoes and sneak up there and plant them?" Because
so
it seems
odd.
intentional.
Yeah, it's so odd. It really makes you wonder if you put your intentions out, even speaking them, out into the ether of the
That's what
universe.
intrigues me. I normally don't really believe in that sort of, but I do it for fun. I just do it
Right.
because I'm there by myself. Nobody's there. So, hey, guys, find my shoes yet? I'll say random things like that.
Yeah.
But also in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, God, wouldn't it be great to find those shoes?
Yeah.
Because I felt so bad.
Right.
I felt so bad about losing, a little kid losing his favorite shoes. And it's my fault. I shouldn't have taken those kids across the creek, or him. So it was so thrilling to find them, but shocking.
Yeah.
Because it had been over a month. I found both shoes, but one, kind of in the same area, but not.
Yeah.
But the one being completely dried out was a little strange.
Right.
And that I found it right. I walked through there 2 hours prior, it wasn't there. I walked back, there it is.
I think it's the power of our minds, and it's encouraging for me because on our next expedition and all my day trips, I am going to have the intention of calling in Bigfoot or finding a sign. And who knows, if we throw that intention out, I think our minds are more powerful than we realize.
Maybe I should take you and your helmet and your bowl of water
Yes.
down to Highland Creek.
Right.
And we'll do something down there.
We'll try it.
So when Chuke first told me that the topic of this video was going to be calling to Sasquatch either like psychically or with intention, I didn't really know if I'd have anything to say about it. I don't get into the woo too much. I do think there's some amazing things about this planet that we live on that we don't quite understand yet. And, I don't dismiss the existence of the supernatural, paranormal, preternatural, anything like that. But I just find that a lot of the stuff that's out there is more commercial than actual like experiences. If somebody has a podcast and that podcast is about paranormal stuff, they got to put out an episode. They're not worried about whether the encounter they're talking about is true or how, if there's any veracity behind it. They're just like, I've got a schedule to meet. We got to get this person interviewed and get it out. So I was a little hesitant, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, yeah, I think there is something that I can talk about in this vein of topic. And it's something that probably a lot of people watching this video have experienced. And it has specifically to do with intention. And, people say, well, all these people look for Bigfoot and they never find him, or they don't really have any concrete evidence. There's no good footage. There's no, like bodies produced. And I think intention might have a little bit to do with it. I'll give you one of my favorite examples is there was a story told about Area X, which is a area of Bigfoot interest in the Wachitas, were a group, the North American Wood Ape Conservancy, has basically been doing a multi-year attempt to get proof of Bigfoot's existence. There's been sightings and lots of encounters in that area, and they've been at it for several years. And one of the most interesting stories to me that came out of there, it wasn't even about Bigfoot. It was a gentleman telling a story about how they were sitting around the campfire and there were just squirrels, besieged with squirrels. They were just pestering the hell out of them. They were on every tree. They're just squirrels all over the camp. And they were talking about the squirrels, and one gentleman makes a comment like, I've never eaten squirrel. I've never had squirrel. And the gentleman telling the story is like, oh, well, let me get my rifle and I'll shoot a couple and we'll remedy that. We'll have squirrel for dinner tonight. So the gentleman gets up, walks over to his truck or the cabin or wherever his firearm was, and comes back with the gun, and all the squirrels are gone. And he just thought that was really odd. Like, why? Those squirrels have been here. They've been pestering the hell out of us. They've been here the entire time we've been here. And the moment I made my mind up to do harm to them, they were gone. And I don't know about you, but I've experienced things very similar, where I will have a nuisance animal, a squirrel, a rabbit, what have you, usually a rodent. And I get to the point where I'm like, I have to like get rid of this animal. I have to unalive this animal. And once I make that decision, it's like the animal just disappears. It just goes away. It doesn't come back, or it comes back when I'm not around. And that's an interesting phenomenon. I mean, obviously, I don't think that squirrels are probably, it's possible they're intelligent enough to know what a gun is, but at least in my case, I know that when it's happened to me, like, nobody hunts animals on my property. Like, I've never hunted the animals here. I know these squirrels are, like last year's squirrels, and they haven't had that experience. So whether that is knowledge that's like imprinted on them and handed down through, genetics or something, I don't know. Or if it's more of a psychic vibe, an intention where they're like, okay, this person is going to do me harm. I'm going to go away. I mean, who hasn't been in a public area, maybe on public transportation or just walking down the street, and you get a vibe from someone like, ooh, I don't think that person's very happy, or that person doesn't seem very safe to be around. So I think it's possible, absolutely, that this same phenomenon could transfer over to Sasquatch, and just by the mere fact of going into the woods with the intention, not necessarily harming Sasquatch, but of proving their existence, of seeing one, is that what keeps them away? Are they so ingrained to remain hidden? I think probably that's probably their main driving force. They make baby Sasquatches, and they stay the hell away from people. I think those are probably their like three like driving actions that just consume their life, is you stay hidden, make babies, eat food. And if they're getting a vibe from a group of people that they want to see them, that might be a red flag for the Bigfoot, as it were, just to stay away. Okay, they're here, they want to see us, or they want to hurt us. We're going to be over there. We're not going near them. And it would also account maybe for some of the encounters that you hear about. How many times do you hear somebody give an encounter where they're like, I wasn't thinking about Bigfoot, I don't care about Bigfoot, and I saw a Bigfoot. So maybe that's the key to everything, is your intention, which I don't know how, if you're going into the woods to look for Bigfoot, I don't know how you would go into the woods. I don't know how you turn that off, that intention. I guess maybe go in like, well, I'm not going squatching. I'm going to do this. And maybe then something would happen. I don't know. I'm going hunting for deer. I'm not going to look for Bigfoot, but I don't know if that would work or not. But yeah, I think certainly if rodents like, rodents like squirrel and rabbit have the ability to pick up on those kind of intentions, I think certainly a primate would. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts on the matter. I think there's probably something to it, even though it may not be necessarily a psychic phenomenon. I was told many years ago when I went through the police academy that when you get a gut feeling about something, when you walk up on a scene and something's telling you that it's not right, the instructor called it your spidey sense. And he said, that's just your subconscious telling you that something's wrong. You've noticed that something's wrong. You just haven't noticed it. And that little voice in the back of your head is telling you like, hey, something's wrong. You just maybe not be completely aware of what you saw that made you think the scene was off or the scene wasn't safe. But yeah, there's definitely something to intentions, I think, in the animal world. I think some animals can probably pick up on it, probably some better than others, or else we'd probably never be able to feed ourselves by hunting. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. And yeah, it's a strange world we live in.
I don't know. Maybe they heard me and they're like, "Oh, you want those shoes back? We'll go get them." You know, the other thing I joke about is they didn't fit Bigfoot. They were too small,
Right.
so he just returned them.
Exactly.
But it was entertainment. It was really incredible in my mind that I found both of them a month later,
Right.
3 days apart. One was across the creek, one was across the other side, but dry. It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Makes
Really
no
strange.
sense. So it'll forever be my little mystery.
Absolutely. And we're going to keep trying this using the power of our minds
Yeah.
to conjure up Bigfoot. It also makes me think of, there's the whole Tulpa story where our mass consciousness of believers
Yeah.
makes the Bigfoot manifest.
Sure.
And what makes me think that that could be real is all the UFOs that were sighted like in the 50s and 60s were all like old school looking. They all looked like those silver saucers.
Sure.
And as humans progressed and continued to believe, now they're coming in all kinds of crazy shapes.
Right. The little drone-looking things.
Right.
Recently, it looked like something out of Star Wars, just floating
Yeah.
through a military base.
But what's weird is Bigfoot hasn't changed much.
No,
It's exactly
people
the same.
still describing the same thing.
Exact same thing since the 1600s.
Yeah,
and
nothing's
before.
changed. Like
Hairy
you said,
man.
retro 50s. There
Right.
wasn't a certain look Bigfoot had.
Yeah.
He wasn't, his hair slicked back. He smoked a cigarette.
Right.
No, he's been described pretty much the same way for,
Yeah.
I guess, hundreds of years. So
Yeah. So that makes you wonder.
yeah,
if it's
yeah,
something real.
absolutely.
But we're going to continue to try this intentional belief, just throwing it out there. Couldn't hurt.
I don't even know what to say about that. The shoes, it's just,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I found it. It was so thrilling to find them, but then so mysterious. Like, what? How could these shoes, other than maybe it was a fisherman,
Right.
but randomly, how would he know, why that trail?
Yeah.
Because there's all kinds of trails in there.
So odd.
But yeah, my mind was thinking for about a month,
Yeah.
please let me find those shoes.
Right.
Please let me be the man.
That's right.
And I found them and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. It almost seems unearthly.
Right.
It's just so lucky. But it wasn't luck. That especially the second shoe.
Right.
That was intentionally put on that trail
Super odd.
for someone to find. And I didn't see anybody. I didn't see anybody the whole 2 hours I was on the beat down there. Nobody came out and said, "Hey, man," which they usually do.
Yeah.
Nope, just left, walked back, and whoa, where'd that come from? But
Now you did see some big tracks down there once, right?
I did it was about 2 months ago, and I did it. And I'm not one to post things online and stuff. I
Right.
keep it to myself.
Yeah.
I was not looking for
Right.
big footprints. I was actually looking at this really cool fishing spot across the creek, and I actually had to walk across this other part of the creek to get around, and had to kind of go through some brush. It wasn't a trail.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get to this beautiful spot to fish, and I had to kind of walk down into this embankment, and I noticed what clearly looked like 3 footprints walking just out of the bank, right where I was, stepping down onto the bank, stepped over a tree, and then into the water.
Big too.
And yeah, about 3-4 inches. It was about this big.
Wow.
And they were clearly, they had the shape.
Right.
And again, I'm like, no way, no way. And I looked. I kept looking for bear claw marks.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, a double bear print. No claw marks, no nothing like that. One of the prints, I took pictures of them all, of course.
Yeah.
But one of them, you can see the toe-ish looking imprints. So that's right there in the area where we lost the shoes.
Right.
And of course, I'm not saying I'm not going there.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be interesting
Wouldn't it?
if one has been, I've been lived there for 25 years, and so
Yeah.
I've been going down, exploring that area for quite a long time.
And Bigfoot's always on your mind because you
Yeah,
enjoy thinking about
usually
it.
he's like bears, it's usually bears, moose, then Bigfoot, but
Right.
maybe a lynx or something I'll get to see,
Yeah.
yeah, usually, and that'd be cool if I saw something. I'm always looking for bear prints and on the beaches and whatnot, and
Yeah.
other kinds of neat things like beach combing. And
Right.
if I see a Bigfoot print, awesome, but
Yeah.
never expect to see one.
Right.
And so when I do, it's kind of exciting, and I'm very skeptical about it, though. I really do look at it closely
Yeah.
and think, what else could this be?
Right.
But anyway, that was pretty interesting. Yeah, but since then, I haven't seen any kind of weird, anything else since the shoes, but that was just this last weekend.
Okay.
And if the weather's nice, I'll probably hike down there this weekend.
Well, I'm going to join you one of these weekends, and what we're going to do is try to throw out our intention into the universe.
Sure.
We are looking for something. Show us a sign.
Yeah, give us something. Come on,
That's
give
right.
us a tidbit. Something besides a tweet.
Throw us some crumbs.
Yeah, something. Keep us going. Starting to lose interest now. I need something to jerk me back into it.
That's right.
But
So everybody, comment if you think the power of the mind can be a tool for researching Bigfoot. I think it's worth a shot.
I think it's worth. I'll be interested to see the comments. How many of you think it was a Sasquatch versus a random fisherman, some other person,
Or a really smart bear.
or a really smart bear and got really lucky? But it is an intriguing story. But
Yeah,
I'll leave it at that.
you never know.
Never know.